We need to talk about the recent fake victim situation involving the British streamer Tubbo, and how he was accused of terrible and illegal things by an anonymous Twitter account, with the user behind it quickly revealing that they were doing a ChatGPT social experiment. After which, they disappeared and tried to hide all the evidence. All of this happening in the midst of far more real stories coming out about other creators in the Minecraft community, which I'll be going over in my next video. So if that sounds like something you'll be interested in, feel free to stick around. My name is Austin, and I make videos staying caught up with the latest internet drama and news. If you ever come across a story you think I should cover, feel free to DM me on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. Unless it gets banned, I guess. Now, let's just get into it. The situation began on March 10th, when someone named Emma Laughlin, 18, posted this on a Twitter account that was created around October 2023. The tweet says, "I finally have enough courage to come out with my story about how Tubbo abused me back in 2021. I am a victim. Here's my story." And the image attached to the post says, "Since a lot of other people are coming out about the disgusting acts of a lot of Minecraft YouTubers, especially from Dream SMP, I decided to come out with my experience from a couple years back in 2021. Since before now, I was scared of the backlash I would face, but I now think that this is a perfect time. Some dates and times might be incorrect due to how drunk I was at the time of the encounter. It all started when I stumbled upon Tubbo's videos on YouTube. I was immediately drawn to his charismatic personality and his love for the game Minecraft. As a fan, I would watch his streams and interact with him on social media, never thinking that I would one day meet him in person. But that all changed when I attended a party with some friends. Being 16 and wanting to fit in, I decided to drink alcohol for the first time. I quickly lost control and found myself in a vulnerable state. That's when Tubbo, who was also at the party, offered to take me home. I was grateful at the time, thinking that he was just being a good person since I didn't even know that was him until I started asking him about what he did on the way to what I thought was my house. I ended up passing out in the car, but instead of taking me home, he drove to a secluded parking lot. It was there that he made advances towards me and touched me inappropriately. While he was doing this, I continued to slip in and out of sleep. I was in shock and didn't know what to do. I blamed myself for getting drunk and for trusting someone who I thought was an idol. But the truth is, I never gave him consent, and he took advantage of me in a vulnerable moment. After that night, I was traumatized and ashamed. I didn't tell anyone what had happened, fearing that no one would believe me or worse, blame me for what had happened. But since everyone else had started coming out with their own stories against Wilbur and George, who were also idols of mine, I finally decided to come out so no one else has to deal with what I went through. Soon after this statement went up, many people in the community were concerned about the allegations, especially considering the stories that have come out recently about Wilbur Soot and George Not Found. But also, a few holes started being poked in the story. After a community note was added to the tweet that says, "The original poster claims this was in 2021, during peak lockdown in the UK. Tubbo also cannot drive as they don't have a driver's license. This statement is false and purposely misleading." Then linking to a website with the UK government lockdown schedule. Around 3 hours later, Tubbo gets on stream to respond to the allegations. Here are a couple clips that were uploaded to Twitter.
I don't know. I don't know who this is. I assume it's like a new account. I just want to talk about this because this is fucking crazy.
After this, he reads through the statement that we just saw. And midway through, he says,
"Okay, first of all, 2021 was peak pandemic, peak lockdown. I didn't go to any parties. I didn't go out of my house. Okay? No parties. And I don't offer to, obviously, you don't know if this is true. This is just you taking my word for it."
Later on, after reading the part about him driving, he says,
"Never happened. First of all, he drove me home. I literally do not have a driver's license. This is physically impossible to happen. I don't know what I need to do to prove that. I do not have a driver's license. I have a provisionary driver's license, which means I'm unable to drive on the road without my mum in the car or someone who's had a driver's license for 25 years. So that never happened."
And after finishing up pretty much all of the statement, he wraps up with this.
"Guys, I don't know what to tell you. 2021 peak lockdown. There's nothing I could do about it. This is literally slander and lies. And I can't fucking drive. I don't have a driver's license. Okay? I can't say enough how completely untrue and how false that is.
Not quick enough after this response from Tubbo, the Emma Lachlan Twitter account posted an explanation for their side of the story 12 hours later. Is this when I come out and say this whole thing was a major fucked up social experiment to show how easy it is for something this dumb to go viral? Me and a few friends saw how easy these allegations with no evidence were going viral, so we decided to make this, fully made out of ChatGPT, and if the AI had learned more about Tubbo and said factual stuff, for example, acting as a boy and using something else than a car. If Tubbo wasn't live at the time I posted this, everyone would most likely be saying F Tubbo. Believe all victims, but remember, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Sorry for all the major troubles I've caused to give you all a major lesson. Can I just say, that is the stupidest fucking lesson I've ever heard in my life. All they did was make it even harder for actual victims to share their stories without getting more ridiculed than they already do. But 3 hours later, they didn't make the situation any better when they tweeted, "Trust more fake accusations will come out just like the one I made. Maybe some are real, maybe some are fake. Just wait for everyone's perspective and everything. I was correct. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. And George Not Found is now innocent. You all didn't wait for evidence or his response and told him to kill himself. Now you all look like goofballs. Wait for evidence for everything. I know what I did was fucked up, but it's a good lesson, and I admit my fault in what I did. I shouldn't have done it the way I did." This is quite possibly the worst thing they could have done if they care about the details of George's situation in any way. We'll talk about it in the next video, but George isn't sitting on trial or anything. You can't just apply everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Even if he didn't do something illegal, creating this fake story about Tubbo doesn't make the stories about George and Wilbur any less real. It only increases the chances of people calling real victims fake when they try to share their experiences. But let's get back to the story, where shortly after being hated on by many community members on Twitter, the anonymous Emma Lachlan 18 account was deleted, and the freak behind everything has disappeared, hopefully forever. But that's pretty much everything we know about this situation, of how the streamer Tubbo was accused of doing awful and illegal things by an anonymous Twitter account, which turned out to be the dumbest ChatGPT social experiment of all time. And now that you have almost all the details about this story, let me know what you think, along with anything I missed down in the comments. If you want to get caught up with even more internet drama and news, subscribe to either channel to catch the next story. And check out my recent videos. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end. I'll be back soon with a longer video going through the Wilbur Soot and George Not Found controversies. So stick around for that, and I'll see you in the next one.